7:14 on a cloudy Monday morning. I took lessons on how to talk.
Yeah.
Michael laughing at me.
I don't want to say anything because if I make fun of you, I'm going to make more mistakes on what I say this morning. You won't be able to count them on.
It's Monday.
I know. I'm going to keep it to myself then.
You were over there laughing.
Yeah.
What did they say?
Vain and Mermont. Yeah.
Don't you love live radio?
Yeah, it's great.
So how's things at Minute Mechanic?
Man, we were busy. We had, of course, we just opened 4 days last week, and we stuck about 5 days worth of business into 4 days. But that's great. We're happy for it, and very busy. And the schedule for this week is starting off the same.
Well, good.
Yeah, knock on wood. It's summertime. Kids are they gonna be out of school Wednesday.
Let me see. Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, the 3rd. Yeah.
And there's gonna be a lot of people getting those summer vacations and trips and different things planned, and we're gonna be busy.
Well, and I'm looking at this little calendar here, and it also shows July 4th is on a Saturday.
Right.
That means that July 3rd will be the official holiday, so that gives you that.
Yeah, we'll be off that Friday.
That gives a good 3-day weekend right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you've got Flag Day on the 14th, which is Sunday. And, of course, we've got Red, White, and Blue Festival the last week, I think, of June, last full week. And, of course, the 4th of July holiday, Independence Day, coming up. That's a fun one.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, this year has went by as quick as any year that I ever remember. I mean, it seems like we just done wrapping Christmas presents the other day.
Well, I started to say I'm surprised Walmart don't have Christmas decorations hanging out by the skeletons for Halloween already.
Well, they've got them up close to the front, I'll bet.
So anyway, what we haven't done in a while is just a general review of all the services that you do at Minute Mechanic.
Right.
This show, next show, and the show after that. I mean, it's what.
Yeah, we had a lady come in the other day she said she listens to this every Monday morning. She goes, you know what you don't ever do is just kind of review what you do up there. You talk about different things one week to the next, but we don't know exactly what all Minute Mechanic offers. So I'll try to give an idea of what we do up there, and we can talk about it, Dale, as you see fit to ask a question. Of course, the bread and butter up there is what got the place started in 1984 was oil changes, oil lube filter. We do a ton of those, Boy, last Friday, I don't know how many we did, but it was a bunch. We do, of course, brake service. We do front brakes, back brakes, drums, discs, and we do a lot of that as well. And alignment, of course, we talk about that a fair amount. We've got a Hunter Hawkeye Elite alignment machine, some of the best equipment around. And we got a young man up there he graduated out of Votech, and then we have sent him to Hunter.
Up in St. Louis?
Yeah, well, it was in Springfield, Missouri, actually. This one was in Springfield.
Good.
Sent him up there, and man, he's as sharp as a tack, and he does a very, very good job.
I'll testify to that.
Yep, he does a great job.
Come drive my vehicle.
We do air conditioner service.
Mm-hmm.
If you think your air conditioner is not quite as cool as it should be, you can drop by and we can put some refrigerant in that. It just takes a few minutes. And if you have more problems than that, such as compressors and the like, we repair or replace most of that stuff too. So anytime, some of that stuff that we're talking about there, you probably ought to call in for an appointment on compressors and the like that. What else? We do transmission services. Do a lot of those. And we also do the flush, where we can change filter, change the gasket, and then flush out all the fluid. Mm-hmm. We do that on most cars. There are some out there that we don't have the correct adapters or the ability to do. Probably 90% of them, the answer is yes, we can. Shocks, struts, do a lot of those. Belts, hoses, radiator flushes.
Belt tensioners?
Yeah, belt tensioners, any of that kind of stuff. We do it. Tune-ups. There's not so much tune-up work as there used to be.
Not.
No,
used
you remember back in the day?
Oh boy, do I!
Man, we do half a dozen tune-ups a day back in the late '80s, early '90s, something like that. And now, man, tune-up work. The plugs go 100 to 120,000 miles, and the engines run so nice and clean. There's just not as much tune-up work as there used to be.
In my day of doing the tune-ups, it was in the latter days of the points and condenser.
Yeah.
We were still getting some GM products that had unisets, and I think we even dropped a few screws out of the little point sets on those Dodge Slant 6s for a while, too, and had to chase them out with a magnet, you know?
Yep.
Those were kind of tough to get
Man,
in.
them old unisets, that ought to be in the Smithsonian, hadn't it? You know, remember that stuff?
Yep, yep.
Hell, we do hub assemblies, wheel bearings.
Oh, yeah.
You know, do a fair amount of those things. And those hub assemblies, almost every vehicle now has some version of that. You know, there are still some of the Asian cars that have the press-in wheel bearings, but most of your American cars have got removable hub assemblies. Most, not all. We do a lot of those. What else? Dale, help me out.
Well,
Batteries. We replace batteries.
Batteries, alternators, water pumps.
Starters. Yes.
Then,
well, we've been doing a fair amount of batteries here lately. You know, and when it gets really hot here,
you're going to be selling a lot of batteries.
Yeah, this extreme heat, when it gets above 90 and stays there, that makes life hard on older, weaker batteries, and we'll do a bunch of those. Yes, we do alternators and starters, water pumps. We replace radiators in a lot of vehicles. You know, We've talked before about a lot of the radiators now have plastic tanks, and with time they're going to heat up and cool down to the point that they will eventually crack, and then we replace radiators. We do quite a few of those in the summer. You know, it's usually summertime. We don't see so much of it in the winter. Of course, we do the usual little things. We replace your windshield wipers, and we do, of course, that's part on an oil change a lot of time, and do that, and air filters, cabin filters. We pulled a cabin filter out of a lady's car Friday.
Just imagine.
Man,
didn't know they had one, right?
Well, she may not have known it, but the rodents knew it.
Yeah.
They found it, and they set up quite an extravagant little hotel there. Man, it was about as bad as any I have seen. And when I was talking to her about it, she goes, "I'm getting rid of it." I don't think she likes the idea of knowing there was rodents running around in her car, but that happens to everybody.
Well, now, here's another service that you have at Minute Mechanic that we haven't mentioned yet, is when that service engine soon light or check engine light comes on, you have one of the finest pieces of equipment to analyze that issue right there.
Sure, absolutely. We do quite a bit of that kind of work. We have a Snap-on Solus Elite. I'm sorry, and it is a very fine, very good diagnostic tool. We can hook up and tell you why that check engine light's on. And some of the stuff, you know, I'm not going to sit here and tell you we can fix everything on it. Some of the stuff requires a little more in-depth processes than what we get into. Most stuff we take care of, and do a lot of that. Really, there's probably not a day that goes by that we don't have that hooked up to something. And yep, give us a call on that. Sometimes you can just drop by. You know, we got a couple sitting up there right now that's going to need our Solus Pro and Dennis's loving touch on them. They got we got a Ford up there with a Mist, and I think there's a Dodge there with something going on with it. So
you'll find it.
Yeah, we'll find it and get it took care of. It's just part of it. We service differentials, front, rear, transfer case. You know, if you got a 4-wheel drive or just a rear differential, those differentials are one of the things that gets overlooked.
Yeah.
You know,
very rarely do they leak unless the steel goes.
Yeah, they don't leak all that much, and they kind of out of sight, out of mind. And with so many front-wheel drive cars, you don't really have the differential like what we're talking about on a half-ton truck or 3/4 ton. But if you have a truck with some miles on it and you're interested with that, give us a call. We do them all the time.
Constant velocity joints, your front axles, drive axles.
CV shafts,
shafts, drive shaft,
fuel filters.
Fuel filters.
We service diesel pickup trucks. We service diesel trucks and cars. Yeah, we do some fuel pumps. We did a couple. Let me think now. Yeah, we did 2 last week in the tank fuel pumps. One on a Ford, one on a Chevy. And I was headed somewhere with that. Gone now. I had a senior moment. But yeah, any of that fuel. Oh, diesels. We service all the Ford, Chevy, Dodge diesel trucks. We service several little diesel cars. Most of them are Volkswagen. And we change fuel filters, air filters, belts. We do not get into any kind of in-depth diesel engine repair. We just don't. We don't have the knowledge. We don't have the stuff to do it. And
what about keeping track of diesel exhaust fluid, the new DEF?
We keep diesel exhaust fluid at the shop. Most of the people that own a diesel truck that have the DEF, they carry a gallon or 2 with them. Most everybody has some with them in their truck, especially the guys that are out pulling all the time.
Sure.
You're pulling a trailer full of hay, trailer full of cows. They keep that with them.
How long does a gallon of DEF, well, what's your miles per gallon on DEF?
Well, it varies, Dale. As I talk to the guys that come in, if you were driving down the road in your diesel truck, man, it lasts quite a while. Get pretty good range on a tank of DEF. If you're pulling a trailer full of hay or cattle, man, it depends on how hard you're working it. If you're working that engine pretty hard, it goes through it pretty quick.
So it may be 15 to 20 miles per gallon on the average, like anything else, like fuel.
Maybe. Yeah, thereabouts. I think it'll get more than that. I think it'll do a little better than that. But from what people tell me, a tank of the diesel exhaust fluid unloaded, you're talking something over maybe, I don't know, 1,000 miles, something like that. But if you're pulling a trailer or pulling your camper trailer, it goes through it rapidly.
Yeah. My uncle's got a 2015 Dodge with the foreign diesel.
The Eco Diesel?
Yeah.
The Fiat?
It's got a gauge for DEF on the dashboard.
Yep. Well, how does he like that truck?
Loves it.
Does he?
Averaging 29 miles per gallon in town.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Man, that's serious gas mileage right there out of a half-ton truck.
29 in town.
Is it four-wheel drive or two-wheel drive?
I think it's 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, in fact, he said 29.4 is what he gets in town.
We've not serviced one of the new Ram half-ton Eco Diesels yet. We will. It probably is pretty impressive.
It's a beautiful truck. He's got the, is there a Laredo edition or something like that? Laramie edition for,
Yeah, no, the Laramie's all leather interior. Yeah. It's nice.
Even the steering wheel is heated.
Yeah, because Lord knows we don't want to touch a cold steering wheel. Right? I mean,
well, I have in my day.
You got to draw the line somewhere, and that cold steering wheel's about it.
Yeah. Cold steering wheel.
Yeah, that I can't do that.
Next thing you know, you have a brew mess. You have a Keurig coffee maker in the dashboard, so your coffee's ready when you get in it in the morning.
Well, I tell you, Dale, as we work up there and we look at more cars, new cars coming in up there, the 15s and all, the options that you're seeing on some of these vehicles, man, they didn't have that you would never have dreamed of.
No.
When I was a kid.
When's the last time you saw crank windows in a vehicle?
Man, it's rare anymore.
It is.
It's just very rare. And you get so many of these dashes now. And I used to call them a digital dash, but that's not an accurate term for them now. And I don't know, it's a LCD display, whatever, and it's just crazy what these dashes. And then, of course, the vehicles now have got Wi-Fi hotspots, and
sure, and
you control everything through a touch screen on. Man, it's amazing stuff.
It is.
I hope that stuff keeps working after the warranty's out. Now, when the warranty's up, start to worry a little bit. But
what I like is looking at the old car brochures that the dealerships used to have, and I've got them from every brand. And it doesn't matter if it's Olds or Chevy or Dodge and Ford, whatever. Here's your list of accessories. You get a heater, a defroster. You can even purchase directional signals and backup lights.
Yep.
I
was at a Chevrolet dealership with a buddy of mine a year or two ago. He was buying a vehicle, and they had a big old, like a 3-inch binder. And it had sales brochures from the years past, and one of them was on there. And they were just as happy as they could be because this was the first year of available AM radio.
AM radio.
Yep. Man, it was a Chevrolet, and I forget, it was back in the 50s, I guess. AM radio.
AM radio. In fact, I've got one from Dodge from about that same era. It says you can get the 4-tube model or you can get the 6-tube model and pick up extra stations. Anyway, we're down about 45 seconds real quick. Minute Mechanics located Highway 201 North across from Salvation Army, 425-3135.
Man, give us a call if there's any of that stuff. And if I miss some things, I always do. But if there's something that you got a question about on your vehicle, give me a call. I'm up there all day long. I answer questions for people basically all day, and I don't mind another phone call or two. And we can get you set up, get you in there. And if there's something we can do for you, yeah, we'd be glad to take care of it.
And, of course, you've got the honesty factor. You're not going to sell anything unneeded or not needed.
No.
You're always going to tell the customer, this is what we found. We want you to look at this, give us your thoughts. We'll fix it if you want us to. If not, we'll see you next time, perhaps.
Right. I am a very low-pressure person. I don't like being tried to be pressured or strong-armed into anything, and that's not the way we do it up there either. We will give you the information, you make the decision with it, and we'll roll from there.
Give Mike and the gang a call today at 425-3135. They're located across from Salvation Army on Highway 201 North. Time for the news. Be right back.